Hi, everyone. Welcome to Meet the Author program. Meet the Author is in interviews with authors from all around the world whose books are published in English or other languages, and they want our world to know about them and to learn more about these books. Today, my guest is Gitte Winter Graugaard. I hope I pronounced it correct. Gitte holds a Master of Science in International Business and had worked in communication in the past several years. She has written several books and is certified life coach, hardcore mentor, and transformer and mindfulness instructor. However, the most important knowledge about the beautiful art of listening to her heart comes from her life that has been and is full with love. Her book, The Children Meditation in My Heart, was published in 2016 and then translated to many languages, and now is selling in 20 countries. Her aim or her mission is to teach 1 million kids and how to do heart meditation. And the book was featured in Guardian, Yoga Magazine, and Little London, and other books. Welcome to you, Gitte, and thank you for accepting the interview. You know, I love the book since I know about it, and I'm so much in the heartland that we will talk about it today. So tell us first, how did the idea come to you about the children's meditation book?
Well, when I was trained to be a mindfulness instructor and a life coach and a meditation teacher, you sit in many different classes, and meeting so many other people who were training to become teachers, I realized that not everybody in the room had been so fortunate to grow up with so much love for themselves and from their families as I had. So I met many people who had lost connection to their hearts and were through this training trying to find their way back to their hearts. And I thought to myself that must be such a long journey. We say that the longest journey is from our heads to our hearts, and having lost access to your heart, I thought it would be really difficult and a long journey to travel in darkness to find the light in your heart again. And one evening in particular with one woman who hadn't been in contact with her heart for more than 10 years, and hearing her story of how she found her heart again that evening, I drove home in my car and my kids were asleep, and I thought, I'm going to make sure they never lose contact to their hearts. I'm going to make sure they know how to reach their hearts, and they will always know how to find their hearts. So that was the reason why I started doing heart meditation with them. And then later, as I saw their reaction to it, it became a book.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, a lot of people, I think they don't understand and connect to your heart, because we are living in a time where we always have to think, logically and to do things. And can you explain more how we are related? I mean, connected to our heart. What's the difference between connecting to your head and the heart?
Well, the head is much more critical than the heart. The heart is full of love, and luckily we are, many of us know what love feels like because we are surrounded by people we love, and we have met love in a relationship and with our pets and our parents and our children, and in different ways we have learned how to love. So it's not a question of learning how to love. What I see today is more that we really lack the art of self-loving. So we are judging a lot. We are critical. We have been brought up to perform and to get good grades and good marks and achieve.
Exactly.
And it's not always correlated to the language of the heart. So we often do stuff to feel satisfaction in our brains that aren't maybe making us really happy. And that I see as a big problem, especially because the school systems are based on grades and performance and perfection. And the language of the heart isn't about perfection. It's about love.
Yes, about love. Yeah.
Mm.
And then because, I studied different kind of psychology, not psychology, but coaching and things, and also talk about how they talk about the heart is the first connection to the world. I mean, that's a lot of people, when I tell them that, they don't actually know about it. That's we connect firstly by our heart when we love something or we like something. That's how we connect. But as you said, we forget about it because we always have the mind saying yes, no, don't do that and do that. Yeah.
Yes,
So in your book, yes, sorry.
The heart was the first organ in the fetus. Is
Yes,
the first organ in the fetus, and there are more signals if you look at the scientific ways of the body. There are more signals coming from the heart to the brain than the other way around.
Yes, definitely. In your book, you have 4 stories. So you starting with filling the heart with love.
Yes.
And then sending and giving. Yes. And then going in the clouds. And then sharing the love. So tell us about these 4 stages. And do people have to do these 4 stages together, like on the same sequence?
No, not at all. The first thing we all need to learn or relearn is to love ourselves, because from the love we have for ourselves, a lot of things can grow, and especially love for other people. So the more we can feel the same, a lot of people, when I say that, a lot of people think, oh, that's so ego oriented. I'm in love with myself, but that's not, it's just love. It's just feeling the same kind of love for yourself as you feel for maybe your family or somebody you love. And that's the first thing, because when your body is full of love, all your cells are communicating from a different perspective. I often see it when I meditate with a group of people. I see it as when you fly in an airplane over a city, and just when it gets dark, you see all the lights turning on in the city below. That's how it feels when you turn on your body with love. It's like the cells light up, so the whole body becomes much more vibrant, and from that vibrancy we can
give more
share our love with other people. So that's why I think that's one of the most important things we can actually teach our children today is the art of self-loving and sharing love for ourselves, and knowing excuse me, that we have this eternal source of love inside, that we are connected in our hearts to eternal source that we can always tap into, so that we don't become codependent on other people, on our parent or partner, to feel that we are loved. We are loved already. And if we teach our children that, I think a lot of peace will come to the world. And I think a lot of people will not suffer so much.
Yes. I think because this also teach people or teach children that to be a tolerance, to accept others as they are, to loving everyone, regardless, how they look like or what they know, or what they don't know or believe. And that's what it is, when it comes from the heart. Definitely. That's
And that's what I think is so beautiful about working with you, for instance, and other people around the globe that come from different cultures than I do, is that we can all relate to this. And like the language of the heart is universal. It's not about religion or culture or climate or politics. It's just love, and if we can meet each other from an open heart, I think a lot of conflicts between nations and regions will also could be helped from a more peaceful place of meeting each other, instead of beginning to look at the outer, like we have outer difference. We just meet each other with an open heart, and the way we as parents love our children is the same all over the world. So connecting different regions with this language of the heart is for me also a peace project.
As you said, I mean, we all love in the same way. I mean, maybe we have different, expressed it differently, but it's all the same. And that's where we can all come together on that, definitely. So this is the first step. The second step is to give and take.
And I think that's what we know most about, actually, is that I send you love and I receive love from you. If you're in a parent-child relationship, most children will know about how that feels, that I want to hug you and I want to get a hug, basically is well, we share our love, but what I really want with this meditation is to help the parent express what we know, but many parents, at least here in the Nordic, in Scandinavia, where I come from, we don't talk so much about our feelings. So that means that our children know that we love them, but if we can say it, if we can express it, if we can say, now I'm sending you love, can you feel it? And oh, I feel that you are sending me love now, that feels good in my heart. And if we start verbalizing it more, a lot of children really like that. So it's like there is this love and we are loved, but it's still sort of a mystery.
Which does not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, surprisingly that you have it in your culture, and we think always our culture is not expressing also love also in the same way. And sometimes people express it by giving things,
Yes.
which is, I think, talking about it is more important than giving things. And I think that's very important to parents know, because kids, as much as you give them, I think you know that they still need to hear it, don't they?
Yes. They do, and they are actually really good at verbalizing what love is. So it's also very interesting to talk to a 3 or 4 year, 5-year-old child about this. And they will say, I mean, some of the most profound discussions or talks I've had about love has been with my children, because they are so young still. They were so young still that their understanding of love hasn't been affected so much by school system or heartbreaks, breakups with boyfriends, and a lot of things that will, or maybe teenage years with your parents when they're still young. Excuse me, they are still so connected to how they came here as light and love.
Yes. And they know about that. Yeah. Before we continue to the other parts, I wanted to talk about how the meditation works in the book, because sometimes people think meditation is just, meditation, stay still. But in the book, you have a different way to meditate with the children. And later also we talk about how the parents also benefit from that, not only the children. So how the meditation works in the book?
Well, I start by activating the breath. So I tell the children that now we will move from the head down into the body through the heart. I have various different books. It's different places in the body we go to, but in this particular book we go to the heart. And it's a little bit of a journey. So we use the breathing to get there. And for some parents, it can, if they haven't done this before, it seems like a long introduction. But if you skip the introduction, you skip all the breathing. And the breathing is actually what connects from the brain to the heart. So following your breath all the way down into your lungs and into your heart and feeling your heart and all of this is important. And then to make the child activate their imagination, that I really like in meditation. Meditation for me is always very magical, in the sense that I get into another world and I experience different things in this world. I know that's not the same for everyone. Other people experience stillness or just some colors, and there's no right and wrong in this. But for many children, it's nice to have a storyline to go along. So there is a storyline, and you follow the child into this valley, and you see the love mountains, and you open a door and you enter, and it's more like entering the mind and the spirit and the soul and connecting to the heart. So it's more, you can feel it like you're opening little doors into getting closer and closer to your child's heart and soul. And when everything goes into, like when you lie there with your child and all of this is working, it feels like meeting your child soul to soul at bedtime. And then I can't ask for more as a parent.
Yeah, it is actually. When I was reading the book, I felt it, as you go into deep, because when you go into that, as you said, you go somewhere else, not in here, and that's where you connect. And then the parents will practice that. So there's so many parents who haven't practiced the breathing or meditation. Do you think they have to practice it first so they can help their kids later, or they can start with their kids and enjoy the journey with them?
It's a pretty easy read. So I always recommend that the parents read the first, like the introduction. There is an introduction how to read the book, and then then the first meditation, read it to yourself first and maybe reflect a little bit about it, then try it one evening. So you know how it goes, and you know where you're going with your child. But I also hear about parents who pick up the book the first night and make it work. So it for me, it's much about the parent, less about the child. And if parents can't make it work, they often say, my child won't lie still, or my child didn't like the color of the book, or there weren't enough pictures in the book, or something like that. And then I always ask, how did you feel when you read the book? Because that's the clue. So if you feel anxious or stressed out or trying to push the book through, it's not going to work. So it's all about your own calmness. And that's what I try
because it's reflect to the child.
It's energy. So the child will immediately feel your stress or whatever it is. And knowing how to calm yourself down at bedtime is such an important tool for a parent, because there are so many stressful times throughout a day with children. We all know that.
Yes.
There's a lot of things to do, and it's busy, right? So knowing how to keep calm is such a gift that I'm so happy I learned as my children grew up. I didn't know when they came here, I had to learn, but I'm so happy I found the way of what I call peaceful parenting.
Yeah, that's great. And then we go to the third steps, which is going, my cloud is full of love.
Yes, we have this little toy cloud here.
That's cute.
Yeah, that's a little love cloud. And what I thought, now we've talked about how to love yourself and the art of self-loving. And then we talk about the love we share for each other. And then the next thing to teach the child is that this love that we share isn't dependent on us being together. So if you live with your father or your mother, if the child's parents are divorced, if I'm traveling, if I'm away from you for many different reasons, hospitals, there's a lot of corona and sickness and a lot of things going on, we have to be separated, then the love doesn't stop because we are not together. Actually, it flows between us over distance. And if we then help the child to understand that this love is floating towards each other through the little love cloud. So it's easier for the child to understand that, okay, there's a cloud and I can pull it down, and then I can get a hug from my parent that I miss, or my grandparent, or a friend who moved away. So it's all about longing and missing and loneliness and feeling separated from somebody you love. Then through that meditation, you will learn that, yes, it's nice to be together, but the love is always there. And if the child knew how much we think about our children every day, I think they wouldn't feel as separated. So we have to verbalize how much we actually think about our children, even though we are at work or they live with another parent or something like that.
And does that help with the child that lost one of his or her parents in that way?
Yes, because then you can also say they learn that they learn about the cloud in the sky, and if whatever, depending on your religion and what you believe, I say, well, you can also send the cloud up into heaven and get a hug from somebody you miss in heaven. So if they've lost a grandparent or even a pet or a parent, worst case, they can feel connected. And if you know that a grandparent or parent is about to die, then it's really good if they talk about it. So even though I'm not going to be here, I'm going to be up there, and I'm going to keep on filling your cloud with love. And when I teach this at workshops for parents, there's always some parent in the room who really misses her own parents, one of her own parents, and they start crying because they're like, so I'm still connected to them. Yes, you are in love, because love is eternal, right? So it's really comforting to know that also as a parent, for me, I all children ask, are you going to die one day? And when are you going to die? Are you going to leave me? All children ask those questions about death. And I say, yes, I am going to die one day, but I will always send you love. My love for you is eternal. And knowing that gives me comfort as a parent as well. I don't get anxious when they ask those questions, because I can say it as it is. But I feel that I will always be connected with them.
Yeah, I think it's very important. Yeah, very important to talk about these issues. And a lot of parents, avoid these subjects because they, worried about the kids, but it's better they know than they don't know, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's death has been a big topic right here in Denmark right now. We're playing the European Championship in soccer. And at one of the first matches with our national team of Denmark and another team, one of our big stars, one of the big soccer players, he fell over and he actually died on the court in front of millions of kids watching. So It was like a family evening, and we had flags and barbecues, and it was a big summer celebration. And then all of a sudden he died, and then they rescued him, and he's fortunately he's okay now and he's recovering.
Yeah.
But all kids have now been asking the same questions. How can the heart stop beating? Why did he die? Are you going to die? So we've talked a lot about death with our children in the past.
Yes.
And what I have tried to communicate in my blogs and on my media is that what we also have seen is our hearts opening towards this player, because he has received so much love from all around the world. He's world famous. Christian Eriksen is his name. He's a big player, and it's just pouring in with love. The stadium, the next soccer game, the whole stadium was standing and saluting him and, celebrating that he was alive. And even they play tonight again. And even tonight he will be mentioned many times. And what we see there is a whole nation and from friends from around the world opening our hearts and actually sending him love, which is what I then move on to in the fourth meditation in the book, is that we can meet each other with an open heart. I can greet you with an open heart in this interview, and I can send love to this player who is in the hospital, and teaching our children about death and love at the same time is really good, because you don't end the whole conversation about death with and then nothing happened. It's like, see, he actually died. They rescued him. And now we are healing him. We are sending him love. We are wishing him all the best. It's really massive when many million people do it at the same time.
Yes.
So beautiful. Yeah. It does something for us as a nation as well. We are a small nation of only 6 million people. And when we get together in celebrating life in such a, like at the same moment as we learned that he was alive, because we thought he was dead, the whole nation celebrates one life.
Yeah.
If we can learn something from that, it's about heart light and the art of loving and appreciating that we are alive. And doing that 10 minutes every night at bedtime does something to parent-child relationship that I really, really like.
It's a very nice example, as you said, about this person. It's amazing. And it's true. If people learn from that, how love can change things, how love can bring people together, help people. And this is what we need around the world. Like if every nation or every community done that, that's, we separated more and more, we have more of love. That's a great example.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And you're, I'm very interested in this thing that you wrote in your book about the heartland and the brainland, which is what adults live in the brainland and children live in the heartland.
Yeah.
So this, I think, is more for adults, and in that part of the book when you talk about it, I felt it's more than the parents, for the parents going back to be children rather than children being learning from their parents.
I have by my coffee machine in my kitchen, I have a little sign that says, "Don't grow up, it's a trap."
Yeah. Yes,
remind our children to not be so, they're teenagers now, so don't be so busy growing up, and to remind myself that
also,
being a grown-up isn't all that fun compared to being a child. And we all know that the children like to be where we are, so we can't even go to the bathroom alone when they're young. They want to be around our legs all the time, and they are constantly on our tail. And I was thinking, why are we so busy hanging around in brainland, up in our brains, and then we are attracting our children to come with us? So that's the way we do with our school systems when we give them grades when they're 10 years old, or when we, you know, we try to perfect everything with them, then it's really much, the whole school system is designed to train their brains to perform. They're not, this whole school system is not designed to let our children enjoy life and find joy. And I think that's a big mistake. And I think hopefully we will see new school systems coming in the next years. We already see the tendencies towards it. So why are we so busy as an adult generation training the brains of our children when they know so much about their heart that we have forgotten? So that's what, and you're completely right, because I use the occasion, the child is about to fall asleep. So we can talk about how sleep and the heart is connected, but the child is about to fall asleep. So if I can remind the parent as the child is falling to sleep that this is a nice place to hang out with your child here in Heartland, isn't it? So why are you so busy bringing your child brainland?
Yeah. That's very interesting part of it. Yes, definitely. And for the last thing, so your book is just to have balance, to have joy, to have love. I mean, what's your message? If you can, tell us what the message of the book.
Yeah, but the message is to make sure that your child doesn't lose the connection to the heart, because the heart is our compass. So throughout life, we will be asking many questions. And if we are connected to our hearts, we are connected to our souls. And then we will get all the guidance we need. But when we are only connected to our brains, we're not necessarily connected to our souls in the same way we could be, but it's not as easy accessible through the brain as through the heart. So if you want guidance, and if you want your child to grow up having guidance throughout life, it's really a good thing to remind them of how to ask their heart questions. Yeah. And then the other part took me by surprise. I didn't design the book in this way, but it turns out that when you do this at bedtime, it's much easier to fall asleep. So as I started heart meditating with my children back then, I saw what a profound change it had on their sleep pattern, how quickly they fell asleep, how deeply they slept, and how long they slept. They slept much better after heart meditation, and I do so too. So it shouldn't have surprised me, but it was really it was like finding that secret sleep method. And what we know from all around the world today is that children don't sleep enough. So that's the other like more physical benefit, and that helps them thrive in so many ways if they sleep more. So at least, I'm not sure how it is where you are from, but up here in Scandinavia, our children sleep 1 hour less than we did when we were children in general. And that means that some children really sleep maybe 2 or 3 hours less than I did when I grew up. And we will see a lot of health benefits coming from more sleep. So the project is a peace and love project, but it's also a sleep project.
Sleep project, definitely. And the book, as you said, is translated to many languages. So what languages are the book is available now?
So first was Danish, and then came English, and then Spanish, Norwegian, and now Arabic. And Portuguese is coming, Russian is coming, and I'm not sure how to say that in English, but from Armenia. Yeah, okay, that's great. Yeah. And how about your mission and getting to 1 million children? Yeah. Where are you on that now? I am on my way. It's hard to know how many children you actually reach, because the book is also at schools and kindergartens, so it reaches a lot of children. But the mission is going well, and I think I can comfortably put my head on the pillow when I have taught 1 million kids to do heart meditation. So thank you for helping.
No, that's all right. I mean, I love the book, and I really wanted to be in Arabic for people to benefit from it, definitely. And I think our children, like, like you said, your children or the children of your country, we're all going the same thing. We're all going, children sleeping less, and they need to connect to the heart and everything. So we all need to do that, definitely. You said the book is in the school, so can it be used by teachers also in the school in a way?
Sorry, yes, it's It's written for parents, definitely. So there is some of the words that reminds us more of a parent-child relationship. But if the teacher can twist the words a little bit, she will be able to bring it into school as well. Yes, and
so she can, she can do it through like the beginning of a class, or to calm them down, or,
yes.
or how can they use it?
Well, all day, I would say. We know that if you start by meditating 3 minutes every hour, and in Denmark that's 45 minutes, one class is 45 minutes, you get 6 minutes more of attention span. So it's also really important for how the whole education, like the learning part, and there's a big discussion of what they then learn, but we know that it calms them down, and it's really good for
good for them. Yeah,
it's really good for conflict. So if the class is in conflict, it's good to meditate together and open our hearts. It's good before lunch. It's nice if they are tired and they need a little break. So it's like, it's good in the morning to come in from, if you think about a morning and you have 25, 30 kids coming in from different homes and environments, sorry, then they meet from all parts in the body. Some come in hectic, some come in quiet, some haven't slept enough, some have slept a lot. They are so different in the state of mind and in the state of being. So if we start by tapping into our hearts, we get like a community feeling in the class. And when we do, I've been teaching some students in England who are very trained in mindfulness and meditation. And what I saw in those environments where they'd done it a lot was that those kids who came in with a full energy tank and who were well rested, they were sharing love with the kids who came from another neighborhood and who hadn't had breakfast, or who hadn't slept, or who were in a poor condition when they came. So it's a class community love feeling, connecting the children with open hearts. And that's actually some of the most beautiful work I've done, because they were so well trained. So it was so easy for me to come in and just do this kind of meditation with them. They already knew the language of the mind and the heart and the body. And that's what I would love to see in many more schools, that the kids take care of each other from an open heart.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this and for telling us more about your book. And hopefully that people will learn more about the book, and that will be published in Arabic soon. And the rights is still available if anyone are interested in the Arabic rights, and then and can be published. It's already almost translated and ready for publishing. Definitely. Thank you for that, and thank you for the whole information. And hopefully we meet again for more talk about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.